Hi, I'm Tricia Sawyer, and today we're going to do a dramatic makeup on Tara. I'm going to do a little bit differently than I normally do, meaning that I'm not going to do her foundation first like I normally would. I'm going to leave that for last. I had a lot of questions about how to do dramatic eyes and how to deal with makeup falling in the under eye area and how to get rid of it or how to alleviate it. So I'm going to go over some of those things and some of those tricks today as well. I'm going to start with her eyes by using the Regina palette. It's a little bit more dramatic for her with her skin tone, but still on the warmer side. So we'll do a lot of the smoky lid. So one really good way, besides leaving the foundation for the last, another trick that you can do if you have a lot of problem with dark color falling underneath your eyes is put a lot of powder on your powder brush and leave a very big residue of powder underneath your eyes until you are done with your makeup. Once you're done with your makeup, sorry, you want to brush it off. So you would leave it like this the entire time. Do the makeup, and then once you're done with the makeup, you would brush it away along with the dark color, and it would be, you'd have a clean palette. Another tried and tested way that you can make sure that you don't get any color underneath is by holding up a tissue the entire time while you're doing the dark color on the lid. It's a little less convenient, harder to do on yourself as you're doing your eyes. So this works really well if you're doing a client, but not as much so if you're doing yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start, and I'm going to use the method I like the best. I'm just going to do the eyes, and then I'm going to take a wipe and clean up the under eye area, and then do the foundation. So I'm going to start with the Regina palette, and I'm going to go right to the depth colors. I'm not going to do an all-over base color on her eye. I'm just going to go right to the depth colors. And I'm going to do that by kind of double dipping my brush in these two, tapping to get rid of the excess. I'm going to have her look down but not close her eye, because that leaves the lid, the full lid at rest without any creases in it. And when you're looking down, you can see the natural shadows on the eyelid, and those are the shadows that I'm going to follow with the depth of my colors. So that would be the shadows right in here and here, and I'm going to follow the natural depth of her eye. Hopefully you can see that a little bit better, but that's where I'm going to deposit the darkest colors, and I'll keep the lightest colors in the areas that I want to pull forward. And this is just a personal preference that I'm mixing the colors together. I kind of like to get a stony slate, like dirt color almost. So I like to mix the browns with the blacks. Just gives it a little bit more depth, in my opinion. Using a smaller brush in areas that I really want to deposit more color in. And I'm not going to take the depth of the color past her lash line, as I don't want to bring her eyes down or close her eyes down. Now, if you're doing this makeup on yourself, it's a little bit harder to keep your eye at rest, but you can do it by just holding the mirror down a little bit, and you can do it like that. Make those funny faces that everyone will make fun of you for. Again, remember to step back a lot and look at the complete makeup to see that you're doing the shape properly. Okay, and look up for me. and down. Actually, look straight ahead for me. So I've just connected the top and bottom lash lines together. And when she's looking straight ahead, I have the natural crease that I'm going to go ahead and accentuate with my color. Now again, remember, see, I'm getting some drops of the color underneath her eyes, but I'm going to go and clean that up afterwards. The reason why you do get the drops of the eyeshadows is because some of these eyeshadows particularly, are very fine mills. And you get a lot of release and a really nice pigment with these eyeshadows, as opposed to them being really hard where you have to really scrub your brush almost to get the color deposited. Again, just going in the natural contour and depth of her eyes. She could even just do those colors and just do a sweep of even this and be done if we wanted. That's a really complete look. But I'm going to go ahead and make quite a dramatic eye on her today. I think a lot of women are intimidated by using dark colors because of the reason of the fallout and you know, not knowing how to blend it or where to apply it. I'm just trying to show you all these different ways so you don't have to be intimidated by color. Look up. Okay, straight ahead. Again, I'm not taking any color past the lash line, making sure that this area is quite clean. And I'm going to go ahead and use the Intense Drama, the cream black eyeliner, to line Tara's eyes. Just mixed it with a little bit of water. And really depositing the depth of the liner at the lash line.
Where am I looking?
Just straight ahead's good. The great thing about these cream liners is that you can use them wet or dry, so you don't have to worry about having water to use this product. If you use it dry, it's a little bit creamier consistency than a normal eyeshadow, and you can still get a great depth of color. But even just the teeniest bit of water will activate it. Look up. And it really helps you to take it from day to night. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about the top lash line because I'm going to do lashes on her eventually, and then I'll go over it again, the top lash line, just to make sure it's perfect. So I'm going to add a little bit of the rose tone color to the top lash line, just to give it a little brightness of color. Now again, this is very nighttime, very dramatic. This isn't something probably you would normally wear to the office. Maybe, you never know, but just really just finessing the shadow. I'm gonna go ahead and add the lightest color last. Just look down, just where I want a little bit of that highlight, that pop, right in the center. Now I'm using the lightest color really just to shape her eyes and just give that pop, that highlight, to accentuate so your eye is really drawn to this area right in here, which is usually above the iris or the color of your eye, and that really draws people's attention to it and makes them notice your eye color. It's a really great little trick. So now that I've done that, I've gotten pretty much the shape. I've put in the depth of the color. I've lined her eyes. I've accentuated with the highlight above the iris. I'm going to go ahead and clean up underneath, and I'm going to then put some lashes on her and mascara. And then we'll finish with foundation. I'm going to use my handy dandy makeup wipes. Clean up all the residue. And this is just one of the problems that you'll get. You know, I decided that with my line, I really wanted the blendability and the fabulous colors and pigment and the really fine mill. So you will get that kind of release with a product of such a high quality. Whereas the other ones, you won't get as much of a release, but they're much harder to blend. So I chose this one.